Assalamu alaikum viewers, myself Sayyida Tayyeba Bukhari and welcome to my channel. Viewers, as we have learned the skeletal system in our previous video, today we will discuss one main skeleton of the skeletal system in detail. And today's our topic of discussion is axial skeleton. व्यूवर्स, टॉपिक स्टार्ट करने से पहले अगर आपने इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और एंड बेल आइकन को भी प्रेस कीजिए ताकि न्यू आने वाली वीडियोस आपको टाइमली नोटिफाई हो सकें. सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्ट. सो एज वी हैव लर्नड अबाउट द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ बोन्स, सो लेट्स सी कि ये हमारी बॉडी में कैसे असेंबल करती हैं एक दूसरे के साथ. The skeletal system is mainly comprised of bones, around 200 in an adult to be specific. But there is also a good amount of cartilage, joints and ligaments, which all together make up around 20% of a person's body mass. We will discuss joints later, but today we will discuss about the bones. So let's check out all the different bones in the body. As we know, human skeletal system में दो sections होते हैं जिन्हें हम axial skeleton बोलते हैं, made up of skull, vertebral column and thoracic cage, and appendicular skeleton made more or less of just the limbs. Let's go through the axial skeleton first. That's actually our today's topic, starting at the top with the skull. The skull is a fascinating structure जो कि 22 different bones से मिलकर बना है. Cranial bones जो कि brain को protect करती हैं, and facial bones जो कि फेस को स्ट्रक्चर देती हैं, शेप अप रखती हैं. Skulls, most of bones are flat, and in cranium these are connected at serrated lines called sutures. The cranium consists of a vault and a base, and we should know the base is divided into 3 fossae: anterior, middle and posterior cranial fossae. और ये इकट्ठे मिलकर the cranial cavity produce करते हैं where the brain sits, जिसे houses of brain भी बोलते हैं. There are also the air cavity, nasal cavity as well as orbit, which helps the eyes. Altogether there are 8 cranial bones. There is a frontal bone, 2 large parietal bones, the occipital bone, 2 temporal bones, the sphenoid bone, and the ethmoid bone. The cranial bones, as I said, connected by sutures, and those have the specific names as well. These are the coronal, sagittal, lambdoid, squamous and the occipitomastoid sutures. We should also mention the foramina. Foramina are the holes that nerves and arteries and veins pass through. ये ऐसे होल्स होते हैं जिनमें से nerves, arteries and veins गुजरते हैं. Most notably foramen magnum, the hole for the spinal cord at the base of the skull. Foramen magnum ऐसा होल है जिसमें से spinal cord गुजरती है. Moving on to the facial bones जो कि 14 होती हैं. We can start with the mandible, which is the lower jaw bone. Then there are 2 maxillary bones which forms upper jaw and part of the face. Next we have the 2 zygomatic bones which are the cheekbones, nasal bones, which make up the bridge of the bones, nose bones, lacrimal bones, palatine bones, the vomer, and inferior nasal conchae. Lastly, जो कि technically skull का part नहीं है, there is also a hyoid bone which sits just below the mandible, जो कि किसी भी और bone के साथ connect नहीं होती. Next step in the axial skeleton is the vertebral column, also called the spinal column or simply spine. This is comprised 26 irregular bones that comes together to form a flexible structure in a curvy S shape which support everything from the skull to the pelvis. ये 26 irregular bones पर मुश्तमिल होता है जो कि S shape बनाती हैं और हर चीज़ को support करता है from skull to the pelvis. Spine can be divided into 5 sections. At the top, we have cervical vertebrae, which are the first 7. Next 12 are called the thoracic vertebrae. The remaining 5 are called the lumbar vertebrae. We should know the vertebrae get larger as we go down in order to support more and more weight. Below the vertebrae we can find sacrum, that's actually vertebrae fused together. And lastly, below this sacrum there is coccyx, otherwise known as the tailbone, which is made of few tiny vertebrae fused together. Of course, there is much more to the spine than vertebrae. There are lots of ligaments keeping everything together. ये ligaments हर चीज़ को इकट्ठे जोड़ कर रखते हैं. The main ones are the anterior and posterior longitudinal ligaments running down at the front and back to the column from the neck to the sacrum. There are also shorter ligaments that connect adjacent vertebrae as well as intervertebral disc. These are cushiony pads made up of nucleus pulposus, which is the more elastic part, surrounded by an annulus fibrosus with lots of collagen. These are found in between each vertebrae, acting as shock absorber when we run and jump. Now let's have a look on an individual vertebra a little closer. These all have a body and a vertebral arch. The whole is called vertebral foramen, and the spinal cord passes through here, which we will discuss later. Vertebral arch is made up of 2 pedicles and 2 laminae, and from these projects various processes. These are the spinous process, 2 transverse processes, as well as superior and inferior articular processes. The vertebrae vary slightly depending on where they are found in the column. Cervical vertebrae have a spinous process that is very short, or additional foramen that is very large, and additional transverse foramen to accommodate vertebral arteries. Thoracic vertebrae have spinous process that's long and points down, and they also exhibit structures called tamifacets that are connected to the ribs. Lumbar vertebrae, being much larger, have pedicles and laminae that are short and thick. The last part of the axial skeleton is a thoracic cage, This is essentially comprised of the sternum, ribs, as well as a lot of costal cartilage. The sternum is a flat bone right in the middle of the thorax, and it is made up of three smaller bones that are fused together from top to bottom. These are the manubrium, the body, and the xiphoid process. Then there are 12 pairs of vertebrae, ribs vertebrae, that projects from the vertebrae. देन रिब्स के 12 पेयर्स होते हैं जो कि वर्टिब्रे से प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं. The first 7 pairs are attached directly to the sternum via sections of costal cartilage, and these are called true ribs. Then there are 5 pairs of false ribs which are attached to the sternum, 3 of which attached to the sternum indirectly with costal cartilage, joining the cartilage from ribs above. And then the last 2 are called floating ribs because they don't attach to the sternum at all. Ribs are flat bones. They get longer going from pair 1 to pair 7, then get shorter again from 8 to 12. That's all from my side. With the axial skeleton complete, we will discuss appendicular skeleton in our next video. Hope you like the video. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आई हो और आपके लिए यूज़फुल हो तो इस चैनल को ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब, लाइक एंड शेयर कीजिएगा. In case of any difficulty, question and suggestions, feel free to ask in comment section below. Allah Hafiz, stay blessed.